I've not asked this question to anybody before because we've not had anybody on who's done kind of a big year by bus. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys was what tips you might have had for, kitting out a vehicle or packing or preparing for that kind of trip. I mean, I'm guessing you have to keep it quite light. You have to make some specific adjustments to your vehicle. Maybe what tips would you give people who maybe want to do something similar?
To travel in a small vehicle, I think Valentina is 50 square feet in the inside. We have very limited space. So I think one thing that we had to focus on is having all the spare parts for every time that she broke down. So we actually had to leave quite a bit of space just for parts for the bus. Then came our optics, that we needed all the optics for the year. And then the last thing we worried about was our clothing. And we had to have a variety of clothing because we were going to be in different types of weather, very hot and very cold. So, but we packed very lightly. I am a bit of an organized person. Very organized, to say the least, and we had everything very nicely packed in the bus. Whenever you looked at Valentina in the inside, it always looked like if she was going to a car show. She looked spotless, clean. Everything had its place. Nothing was out of order. Everything was color-coded. And I felt that really helped in keeping us with the stuff that we needed and also keeping some sanity because, the space is very small and you needed the space to be able to sit and walk in there.
Basically, I would suggest you definitely keep it light, just sort of limit yourself to what is absolutely needed. In addition to what Eliana said, we did cook our own meals in the bus. So we had kind of a small set of camping cookware that sort of nests into each other, pots and pans that all fit together really compactly. We even used origami plates and cups that fold up into little compact origami and then you unfold them to use them. We were definitely limited on space, so we only brought the absolute essentials.
There we go. Okay, good tips for anybody looking to emulate the birding by bus year.
One of the things, guys, that everyone always wonders about the big year is where or from who you got the inspiration.
I can think of two. I would definitely quote, or I felt like I got some inspiration from the movie The Big Year. But we also got inspiration from another couple that weren't necessarily a birding big year couple, but it was a couple from California that had their own VW bus and decided to quit their jobs and leave their reality and do a big trip in their own Volkswagen bus. They went from California to the tip of South America, then drove to Brazil and shipped their bus to Africa, toured around Africa for a year or so, and then shipped their bus back to New York and drove around the United States until they got back home to California. They were on the road for 2 years. Their names are Rich and Amanda Legato, and they wrote a book called Wide-Eyed Wanderers that we read probably about a decade ago, and that was part of our inspiration for getting a VW bus and getting on the road to do this sort of bucket list adventure.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so many people that inspire you in so many different ways. Like exactly what Mark mentioned. Cane Bird Highway, it's one of my ultimate favorite books. That book, it's incredible. Everybody needs to read that book. And we have seen the movie The Big Year 35 times at least. Like we know every sentence of that movie. We really do. And just like for us, like I feel like both of us have a very wandering spirit. Like we just want to get out there and explore the world, and we love doing it in a frugal, less expensive way. We're not flying from place to place. We are trying to minimize expenses, and that's why we decided to do it in Valentina, because we were able to cook our own meals. We were driving our own vehicle and camping there, and just minimize how much money we were going to spend during 2018. So a lot of people inspired us, for sure.
Definitely a lovely way to do it, like very, very cozy, homey. Yeah, absolutely.